Hey everyone, for today's video, character design and thumbnailing. Originally it was just going to be thumbnailing, but since I'm working on WKT, which is one of my comics, shameless plug, link to that below. But the thing is, it has different parts to it, so it's not completely linear storytelling, I guess. It's very modular. So I started out and I was going to work on each character has a different color assigned to them. That's what the line art is, and so I needed to work on some character design, and I was going to start out with their segment in the issue, because I think in issues, when I work on comics, even though I post them all online, it's very much an afterthought that I put them up online. I design them with print in mind, so I plan out, like what panels are going to look like next to each other, blah blah blah. But I needed to work on some character design first. I still haven't decided what the line art color for this one is going to be. This though don't have a name. They are an enchanter. They enchant various objects, and in the segment that they're going to show up in, specifically, they are doing maintenance on a bracelet that a fish person, wow, that sounds weird when I say it out loud. Anyways, a bracelet that allows an aquatic person who needs water and all to basically get their own little floating bubble and stay in their bubble, if that makes any sense. But they're doing maintenance on that in the segment that they show up in. But I haven't decided if I want them to have orange line art, which would have more contrast with their design, or blue. Because I'm leaning towards blue because I think the orange would have too much contrast, but I'm not sure yet because green is already taken by Amaranth, which was last week's or this week's speed paint. But they showed up a little bit, but I needed to finish the rest of their design. They're kind of like a mushroom construct. But yeah, so yeah, that's what that was. And then I realized that I didn't want to. I wanted more continuity between the issues. So the first segment in this one is going to be a green segment. So Amaranth. That is a direct follow-up to the end of the last issue. I think it was 5 pages, which was purple when her neighbor introduced themselves. So yeah, finished the little mushroom constructs design and worked on the actual thumbnailing for this. And normally my thumbnailing process is more detailed for other projects, but because of what WKT is, which is again very modular and very segmented, so it's a lot looser than I normally do. I mean, I tend to have fairly straightforward, simple thumbnails, because since I'm doing them for myself, I don't need all of that detail in it. There's a few times where I'm pausing and you can kind of see, and like looking off screen. And it's because on the left I have the first issue and I was flipping through it because for every comic that I do, I have a slightly different panel style. So it depends. Like Mask and Cape has a much more is boxers and such, pretty much. But WKT has I don't know, cinematic maybe, I'm not sure, but I wanted to go like looser. I'm not sure what to do with it. So there are panels that go over the main image. So there's one panel that is the main image, which is, includes the background for all of it, and the other ones are just lines over the top. And again, WKT is very loose planning wise, so you see I started out initially planning to do 3 pages and realized that this worked better if I drew it out to 5. 5, not 4, because while it needs to end in a multiple of 4, I prefer to realize that I prefer to have all of the different segments end on their own page and then flip and start a new one if possible. So I think I'm aiming for 12 pages for this. And so then either there'll be, say, 4 pages and 3 pages. Yeah, 4 pages or 3 pages or some variation of that, so we can keep the flipping. And yeah, so here's the planning and such. Again, I'll put a link to the first issue, which is completely posted online below. It also contains all my other social media stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching.